Some time ago, we were taking a look at some of the interesting cut features from various GTA games. It seems like you're gassed about the subject at least as much as I am, so today we'll take it up from a slightly different perspective, from the story perspective. We'll kick off with GTA 3, in which we'll touch on the subject of a mysterious character by the name of Toshido. Toshido is a 62-year-old experienced Oyobun, a leader of the Yakuza, that is, and in our case, a leader of this organization's Liberty City faction. Here, we may spot a key difference to the final game. See, in GTA 3, by reading the police reports, we may conclude that Asuka is the highest ranked member of the Yakuza in Liberty City, and considering that Toshido was also meant to be working in Liberty City, it would be pretty strange if he was a leader of the Yakuza and at the same time, while he was in Liberty City, someone else would perform the role of a leader here, like Asuka. In any case, in the initial concept, it was meant to be Toshido, and that makes a lot more sense because in real life, the female characters in the leader's role is not a common view. Going back to Toshido though, according to the initial concept, he arrived at the United States in the 60s, where soon he built a powerful criminal organization. During the events of GTA 3, Toshido thought about retiring and going back to his home country, Japan. However, prior to that, Toshido wanted to conduct one last project, and that project was meant to be a big counterfeiting fraud that was meant to be carried out by Kenji, Asuka's brother. Unfortunately, Toshido did not make it into the final version of the game, although the sole thread concerning the counterfeiting fraud stayed in the game until the very release. As players, we observe it from a slightly different perspective. The difference is that someone else pulls the strings here. The head of the operation is not Toshido, but Donald Love. Donald Love, who asks Claude for help in a few things that in the end perfectly fit together, especially if we connect those events with the information from the design document that came to light in 2021. I bet you remember that while working for Love, first we rescue an old man from the hands of the Colombians, and then we collect some mysterious packages for him, for which we are being chased by almost all of the local enforcement agencies. It turns out that this thread was initially meant to be completed for Kenji, who received an order to carry out this plan from Toshido. Besides, if we look at the Oriental gentleman, his origins, his clothing, then it all matches to the narrative that he is a man of the Yakuza. In terms of the mysterious old man and an answer to the question, why is he so important in the counterfeiting operation, then here, as you can probably guess, it's all about his skills. The Oriental gentleman can simply make fake money. He plays a very similar role to the role of Ernest Kelly in GTA Vice City. Tommy was responsible for obtaining the plates that will allow Ernest to begin the production of fake cash. In GTA 3, those mysterious packages, for which Claude was chased by the FBI, contained the exact same thing that was carried by the courier from Vice City, the plates. Something totally essential to carry out the counterfeiting operation that was initially meant to be conducted by Kenji. So to summarize, initially, Kenji was the one to give us the missions that today we know as the Liberator mission, in which we rescue the old man from the hands of the Colombians, and then the powerful and mysterious Yakuza boss, Toshido, was meant to be the employer for the A Drop in the Ocean mission, in which we collect the packages in a boat, and also the Grand Theft Auto mission, in which we retrieve the plates from the Colombians. All three missions in the final game are given to us by Donald Love. As well, it's worth mentioning that this whole operation was conducted so Kenji can get himself a very good reputation in Toshido's eyes, just so he gives the reign over the organization to him before he retires and returns to Japan. On one hand, it's great that the developers managed to keep this thread in the game, but on the other hand, it's a shame that Toshido got left out. I'm sure that his character, if he survived to the release of GTA 3, his thread would be a great source of information about the Yakuza. In GTA Vice City, do you remember a character named Pastor Richards? If not, that's not a surprise, as this guy only appears in 3 places in the game. First, we see him in The Party mission, where Richards is on our screens for just a couple of seconds. He also is present on the Pressing Issues show on the VCPR radio station, where he represents very narcissistic and communistic beliefs. And additionally, we can hear his advert on the radio in which he encourages people to help him fund the construction of a statue of himself, in which you could hide in case of an allegedly prognosed nuclear winter. You know, in such a scenario, all the donators who supported the construction will be allowed to enter. And the craziest thing is that the statue is designed to be some sort of a rocket, and at some point the donators will leave the planet in it and will colonize Saturn.
In my wonderful book, I tell of the impending disaster about to befall this planet, nuclear holocaust, plagues of flying rodents, the seas rising up and turning yellow. It is coming. It is written by me, but you can save yourself. Contribute to the Pastor Richard Salvation Statue Fund. Pick up your telephone. Call now. 1-866-9-SAVE-ME.
And just a little fun fact, the average temperature on Saturn is negative 140 degrees Celsius, so actually, I think Richards forgot to mention in the advert that the donators should best bring a warm sweater with them. Well, overall, this whole project does not make sense at all. To summarize, we got a pastor who wants to collect the donations that he will spend on the construction of a spaceship in the shape of a statue on which he'll fly to colonize a gas giant. Moreover, the pastor also mentions in that Pressing Issues program that whoever disagrees with him should get shot. Fantastic stuff. Richards is also a preacher, and as it was mentioned already, he's got authoritarian beliefs. It's a shame that we don't have any thread with him, cause I believe it could end up being quite funny. It's a double shame actually, cause it seems as if that character was meant to be a lot more influential in GTA Vice City's story than it is in the final version. Richards was mentioned in 2 game previews, and Rockstar themselves shared a few sketches of that character with us. Overall, it looks as though the developers really put in a lot of effort in creating that character. It kinda doesn't add up, cause why would they try so hard? Just so they can put him in one mission for a few seconds? Nah, no chance. Something simply isn't right here. I'm absolutely convinced that the guy was initially meant to give us some missions, especially that all the characters that have been introduced to us by Mercedes in the party mission, all of them appeared also later during the story, and some of them have quite significant roles. Kent Paul, Candy Sucks, Avery Carrington, BJ Smith, Jez Torrid, Steve Scott, or Ricardo Diaz. Even Congressman Shrub has his minor appearance in all this, and we can admire his naked ass in the film studio thread. So it's kind of suspicious that we got nothing with Richards. Who knows, maybe initially we were meant to be helping Richards in promoting a statue construction fund, or maybe we'd be getting rid of some politicians or businessmen that would work to his advantage. Or perhaps Rockstar decided the same that it was with Darkel, so that the threat of Richards did not fit to the whole story narrative. Cause actually, why would Tommy work for some insane communist that wants to colonize Saturn on a big statue portraying himself? I think Richards would have to get Tommy high with some voodoo techniques similarly to Auntie Poulet, so it's a shame, but on the other hand, I can understand why that thread was cut out. And now, Vice City Stories, where we'll talk about a cut mission called Faking It, which was meant to appear after it turned out that the beloved mummy of the Vance brothers robbed them off the fortune worth of cocaine for her own use.
Mom! Hey, we're rich! Where is she? Oh, shit!
What?
It's gone!
What?
And Mom's stuff is gone, too!
Oh, Mom! Lance!
Ain't that a bitch? I can't believe she took our coke!
Yeah.
In the game files, we got all the dialogue from that mission, thanks to which we can tell what was the mission's objective and structure. Lance typically got another brilliant idea. That fool wanted to deceive the cocaine buyer by giving them wall plaster instead of coke.
I am a genius! Man, I gotta buy a for coke!
What coke? Ma stole it all.
We got a coke substitute!
Coke substitute. And what the hell is it?
Watch and learn, brother! Come on!
Yes, exactly. Something very similar to what we've seen with that Ballas gangster from GTA 5. However, even some half-wit gangbanger from that Purple Carnival arranged it better, cause as opposed to Lance, he put a bit of merchandise on one side of the package. You know, just so Lamar thinks that the whole package is full of snow. Lance though, Lance went all in. Lance, in the cut mission, Faking It, by a work of a miracle, managed to convince Vic to go with him to the construction site and steal some of the wall plaster in order to spectacularly deceive the buyer.
They put it on the walls already!
Put it on the walls? Wall plaster is your cocaine substitute?
They'd never know! Come on!
So once the two gentlemen would have collected the wall plaster and taken care of the security, they would head for the exchange location. Of course, due to the lack of any tricks, any element that would convince the buyer that the cocaine is actually in the package, as it was in the mission from GTA 5, the buyer realizes that he's not buying drugs, but raw material that he could maybe use for a renovation of his bathroom at best, for a massively inflated price of course. Because of that, the exchange turns into a bust, which ends successfully for the Vance brothers. Thanks to which they manage to retrieve the suitcase with the cash. Terrible irony, it quickly turns out that the buyer also wanted to screw Lance and Vic over. The money was fake.
This money is forged! You can't trust anyone these days!
So that's it for today. The video listing all the gangs that collapsed in the 3D universe is displayed on the left side of the screen. I'm saying goodbye, take care, and see you soon.